This is part 4 of our series of HVAC schematics. Now, in this video, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start introducing motors. Okay, motors will always be, I'm not going to say always, for the most part, they're going to be line voltage. You're going to see them at 120 volts, 240 volts. There are a few little motors, specifically having to do with dampers and zone valves that are 24, but let's for the moment concentrate on motors that either move air or move refrigerant. Okay, this diagram is draw a complete ladder diagram of a line voltage thermostat controlling a 120 volt shaded pole motor. The whole circuit is protected by a single pole breaker. So let's start off with the basics as we always have done before. Okay, we know the whole circuit is line voltage. So let's go ahead and put in our line 1, our neutral. Okay, and I'm going to come down because I can use pretty much the full page here, because of the fact that we know that there's no control voltage in here. I'm going to go ahead and put in my service switch, which is the reality is it's the breaker they're asking for. Okay, and I might just as well go ahead and label everything since I'm already here. We have line, we have neutral, and we have my, let's call it breaker. Okay, now it's saying our load is our 120 volt motor. It is controlled by a thermostat. So let's go ahead and start off by drawing our load. Now, a shaded pole motor is actually relatively easy. It is one of the few motors that you're going to come across that has a single winding. Okay, so if I come in here, let's go ahead and make it all one color. Sorry about that. Forgot to change the color of that ink before I started that. Or as close to one color as we're going to get. So a shaded pole motor is one coil of wire. It's one winding. Okay, it is one of the few motors in HVAC that is one winding. Okay, so it only has a run and a common. But show the coil. Okay, don't just make a circle. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. I am going to go ahead and label this before I forget. So we're just going to call this motor. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything because it's not telling us what it is. Now, I'm going to come over here and we have to draw in a thermostat. Now, you have a choice of a heating or cooling thermostat. Heating closes on a temperature drop. Cooling closes on a temperature rise. They're drawn in two different ways, and it's pretty important on how they're drawn. So we'll take my basic line here. Okay. Okay. A heating thermostat says, okay, if the temperature falls, this is going to close. Okay, that's a heating thermostat. So now, if I want a cooling thermostat, and that's what I'm going to use for this diagram, okay, I need to come down and we're going to change the positions of some of this stuff. And I'm going to make a cooling thermostat that closes as the temperature rises. Okay, that's the difference between a heating and cooling thermostat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically select this so that I can move it into, I want to move it into the place where I want it. Okay, let's go ahead and, so now I have my thermostat in. Let's go ahead and label it. I'm just going to label it cooling thermostat. And I'm going to connect my, make sure I connect my line in neutral in. So now I have my shaded pole motor coming to neutral. And I have my cooling thermostat connected into line. Okay, so let's go back to my description. I have to draw a complete ladder diagram of a line voltage thermostat connected to a 120 volt shaded pole motor. Let me label the circuit and make sure it says 120 volts so everyone knows. The whole circuit is protected by a single pole, the breaker. Okay, so I have my single pole breaker over here, I have my cooling thermostat, and I have my motor. Once you have these schematic diagrams drawn, you can actually select them and move them to other diagrams. So if I wanted to select my motor, okay, I know I have a motor. So don't try not to get the text with it, but I can do an edit copy, okay, and then I can come off of it someplace and I can paste it. And it's going to paste it in very big, but you can grab hold of the sides of it and move it around, okay? So you can move it and use it in other diagrams. So once you have one good schematic symbol, save it. Put a symbol sheet aside or something like that, and you can use it on different diagrams. Okay, but for this schematic, this is complete. Everything is labeled, everything's drawn out, it's neat, and you can see it.